Happy New Year!
Forecast was for snow last night, so I thought I would wake up to this winter wonderland. I woke up to rain. Still raining right now, but regardless of the rain, we got out for a walk, didn't we? We did. Listen, if you're Irish, the rain means nothing to you. It was actually a lovely walk. I always like to start New Year's Day. I've been doing this like fake New Year's Day. And that's one of the first things I like to do on New Year's Day. I did allow myself to have a little bit of a lie-in. I haven't slept great the last 2 nights. Not last night, but the night before. I was in pain. I woke up in pain, which hasn't happened in a long time. And it was very temporary, so it was fine, but it just messed with my sleep. Kind of messed with me all day yesterday, so I felt a little bit out of sorts. And then last night I was just a little bit unsettled, no pain or anything, but yeah, I needed the little extra lie-in. Having said that, I woke at 8:30, which like previous me, the me of years ago, like 8:30 would be early. But these days it's a lie-in, which is kind of horrifying. Teenage me would be horrified. But we got our walk in. I stopped off at the little free library. I have kind of like a plan, a reading plan for this year. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But first, I want to tackle my bedroom and my closet. They're not like super dirty or anything, but just like some things that have been left around after Christmas. Like I went out shopping with my parents, bought a few bits, and they kind of ended up just being dumped. Same with gifts. I just brought them up and left them in a pile, and there's some laundry that just needs to be put away. I'll do a little bit of work, but most of the day will be geared towards relaxing. I'll be doing some reading and stuff, so I'll talk about my reading plan. But this is my New Year's Day do-over. It's so funny because I was looking back at a picture from last year that I took of the floor of my closet, and it was a disaster. It was right after my parents had left last year, and like every time they're over, I do a lot of shopping. I really only go clothes shopping when they're here. My mother loves to clothes shop, particularly over here because, you know, it's like new stuff that she's not used to seeing. Last year, it wasn't just clothes last year. I had like wrapped presents and stuff in here, so there were bags and there was wrapping paper, and it was just a disaster. Whereas this year it's nice because I only have one bag of clothes that I bought about 10 items this year, which I'm very proud of myself for. If you have been following me for a while, you'll know that I'm doing a big closet declutter, but it's a year-long challenge. So basically what I've been doing is wearing all of my clothing, or that's part of the challenge anyway, to wear everything I own. So I had flipped all the hangers around the other way, and as I wear things, I put them back the right way. So there are still lots of things that are flipped the other way, but I'm making progress. I have decluttered a lot. I think at this stage I've probably decluttered about 50 items of clothing, and I've bought approximately 10, I think. So actually the reason that I left them here was because I wanted to note down exactly how many there were, make a note of them for the kind of finale video, like the after video, just so that I was keeping track of everything. So that's why they actually sat here. Otherwise I would have put them away by now. And then I just have this small pile of things that I got for Christmas. Also, I think I'm just going to do a quick scan and see what I can get rid of, if there's anything else that I want to declutter now that I'm in that new year, new me mode. Just a quick kind of refresh. Okay, everything tidied. 13 new items added to my closet, including 3 gifted items, plus a pair of gifted shoes. But I did do a quick flick through and I have decided to declutter 6 items. 3 there, 3 there. Said my goodbyes to them, thanked them for their service. But listen, my closet is still, I still have a lot of clothes. I still have plenty, so I'm not going to run out or anything. But I'm excited to see how many more I can declutter. This kind of concludes the productive portion of it. Well, there's still some more like productive stuff coming up, but I'm taking a break from this. It's almost lunchtime. My daughter has just left. We did very quickly go through some of her clothes and she chose a lot to declutter theirs. She's getting very good at decluttering. Very proud. Proud mammy moment. She's getting very good at it. But right now I want to get a shower. I want to just scrub everything, take off these clothes. I use these to like walk the dog, and put on a nice fresh outfit. Doesn't have to be anything fancy, but just something fresh. And then I'm going to sit down and read. So we'll talk books. Oh, by the by, I was just about to get up and leave, but I remembered something that I wanted to talk about. What do you use for bra storage? Okay, I have this like cloth organizer. It's just not great. It's pretty flimsy. I want something that's sturdy. It's also not very deep, so it's like about this deep, whereas the bras are like this high. It's just not a great solution. I would prefer something that were deeper and more sturdy. So do you have one you recommend? I had seen a few online that were basically, you could just buy like individual ones, so they were kind of like in the shape of a bra, in the sense that they, you know, you could mold your bra around them. It needs to be deep, preferably I would like to, you know, stand them up, kind of like file fold them. But yeah, just while that's in my head, any you recommend, drop them in the comments. Okay, my new year do-over is off to a great start. I've even taken a multivitamin. I am healthier already. But let's talk books. So up until this point, I have been reading a huge amount of non-fiction, personal development, self-help, that whole genre, like focused around obviously home organization, time management, productivity, some kind of like physical and mental well-being, health stuff. But what I was finding was I wasn't really implementing everything that I was reading about. And sometimes that's fine. Sometimes I read a nonfiction book really just for fun. I'm reading it just because I enjoy it. Like I enjoy learning about these things and I enjoy reading about these things. But over the years, there are certain books that I've read that I've really wanted to implement the learnings and I just haven't, because I finish it and then I'm kind of on to the next thing. This year, what I want to do is read one non-fiction book that is purely designed for me to learn and actually implement the lessons. And this is going to be books that I've already read that I wish I had kind of given a bit more time and attention and care to. So, and I'll share what book, like the first book that I've chosen for this year. But in the meantime, I'm going to read fiction. I don't always prioritize fiction and I do enjoy it. But yeah, it's just not kind of what I normally gravitate towards. But yeah, that's going to be my focus for this year. One nonfiction book at a time. The first one I've chosen for this year, Atomic Habits by James Clear. I read it, I don't know, a few years ago. Obviously, it's massive bestseller. I'm sure you've heard of it. I really enjoyed it and I want to go back over it and really take my time with it. While I'm going through that, I know that's going to be a slower process. I just want to consume fiction. If you've got recommendations for great fiction books, definitely leave them. I have been hitting up the library. I've been hitting up the little free library. I have loads of books saved in here, my wish list on the library app. My watch keeps beeping. The neighborhood chat is going crazy right now because one of the neighbors is selling Girl Scout cookies. Well, her kid is selling them. And like everyone is texting, basically putting in their orders. So let me mute this. With fiction, I generally prefer like psychological thrillers, something that just has a story and some tension and like twists and turns. I'm very much a childish reader. I love a story that like surprises me. I love a story where there's like a big climax at the end and like a big reveal, or you know, some form of excitement. Whereas I've read a few books that are considered, you know, classics, and they're beautifully written, but they kind of like, to me, just don't really go anywhere. They just end. That's where I'm at with reading. I'm going to sit down now and finish, well, I don't know if I'll get it finished, but make progress on a book that I started last year, and I'm still working my way through because I just want to kind of like get that squared away. So yeah, that's going to be part, like the next probably hour or two of my new year, my New Year's Day. It's been nice. I like having kind of like a productive morning. I'm really happy that I decluttered some clothes. The closet is looking great. My room is looking great. But for now, I'm just gonna read, put my feet up and enjoy this book that I'm currently on. So I did some reading, thoroughly enjoyable, a nice way to pass a New Year's Day. I also then sat down and planned out the rest of the month. Now, something I have learned, I've actually learned two things. The first one is that it's just too hard to plan out a whole month. I can do like 2 weeks out, and then after that, I just, like, it just becomes kind of impossible to predict the types of things that will crop up. If I plan too far in advance, something will happen along the way that will inevitably throw me off track, and I will end up having to redo all of this. So I have planned out the next 2 weeks, and then the last 2 weeks of the month I've just given myself kind of a broad outline. So I do have a block schedule that I use, kind of like just a template framework for my week, that has been really, really helpful. Something I implemented in 2023, and it just kind of breaks down each of my days into the types of things that I want to do on those days. So for example, Tuesday mornings are usually recording time. Tuesday afternoons are when I do grocery shopping, run errands. Wednesday is like a video editing day, etc., etc. But the other lesson, this is something that I've kind of been learning, I mean, for quite a while now, because I was rereading some old journal entries from the past year, and I saw it mentioned, and it was so interesting because it's been on my mind, and it today has really solidified that, and it's kind of a wonderful way to spend New Year's Day, and kind of how I always hope to spend my New Year's Day. And that is that even though it sounds counterintuitive, actually, like, side note, I'm learning also that like counterintuitive stuff is often true, even though it doesn't feel like it should work or it should be accurate. It very often is. I've learned that a lot this past year. But yes, something counterintuitive that I've really come to learn and has really been brought into focus today is that the more I slow down and the more intentional I am with how I spend my time, the more like moments I give myself to pause and reflect and review, the more I actually get done. And it doesn't sound like that would be the case. It doesn't sound like the slower you go, the more you would get done. But it's true. I got a lot done today. I got like productive stuff done. I got a whole month more or less planned out. I actually went ahead and wrote what is, I don't know if it's going to be like a blog post, a video, I don't know, but like I got an idea for something and I just started writing. I thought it would just be a paragraph or two, but I ended up, I don't know how many hundreds of words are there. Yeah, I've got all of that mapped out. I got laundry done, like laundry put away. I helped my daughter to pack. I helped her to declutter some stuff. Decluttered my closet a little bit, tidied all that up, just so many things. Walked the dog. And never once felt hurried or rushed or stressed or overwhelmed. And it's because at each point along the way, I kind of stopped and asked myself, is this what I want to be doing? Is the next thing that I'm thinking of doing, is that something that I actually want to do? Is it something I'm excited to do? And just taking that moment makes all the difference. I think one of the reasons that I get less done when I'm rushing, and I noticed this yesterday, is because when I am rushing, I'm less inclined to finish things. I'm less inclined to like tidy up after myself. I'm less inclined to put things away. So it just kind of creates this bigger and bigger mess, which completely derails me. Whereas when I'm more slow and I'm more intentional, I actually follow through on things. And I take my time to tidy up, and I take my time to do a good job the first time around, so I don't have to redo it. When I read slowly and with intention and with focus, I absorb more, and I end up not having to reread something because I was distracted by something else, or because I was trying to rush through a chapter or something like that. And that's what today has really taught me, and that's kind of the energy I want to bring into 2024. It's this idea that if I just take a minute or two to pause and reflect rather than rushing through life, that I will get more done, I will enjoy life more, and I will feel better. I won't feel so stressed out. I won't feel like I'm on a hamster wheel. So I have really put that into practice today. It has really like paid dividends today. And overall, I would say that even though yesterday I did worry that today wouldn't be like the perfect quote unquote New Year's Day, quote unquote, it actually did work out wonderfully for me, and I'm really glad that I did this. Okay, Laura from the future here, popping in with an unintended consequence, like a very pleasant surprise that I discovered since I did my New Year's Day thing, which was yesterday. So we're technically a week into the new year, but because I did my new year yesterday, I don't feel so behind. Today, like, I'm catching up on emails and stuff, and normally I would be feeling a week behind and like I had loads to catch up on, but because my brain views today as January 2nd, I feel like I'm on top of everything. I feel like I'm caught up. I think I'm going to do this every year. I'm going to wait until like a week or two into the year and then do like a New Year do-over. I feel great. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know that. Totally unexpected, but a very pleasant surprise. Okay, back to yesterday me. I'm going to spend the rest of the evening journaling and getting all these thoughts down into my journal, and then I'll go back to reading and hopefully get a really good deep night's sleep. Excited for what the rest of the year will bring. Slán!